Hello, everyone. My name is Brandon Miller, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my presentation or my PowerPoint about district operations and management. A little bit about me. My name is Brandon Miller, like I said before. I've been married for about 11 years now. I have two boys, 7 years old and 4 years old. We moved to Kansas about 6 years ago from Colorado, where we started teaching, my wife and I both. I've taught in special education, elementary education, and I've been an instructional coach for K-5 elementary. Currently, I'm in a role as a district academic intervention coordinator for pre-K-12. It's been quite the experience, and I've enjoyed being able to work with multiple teachers, multiple building administrator, and instructional coaches across the district. I have quite a few passions, but most of my passion, of course, is spending time with my family. I love reading and learning, and of course, watching movies. A lot of reruns. Personal goals continue. I want to continue to learn more about leadership and keep striving to be better. I want to deepen my understanding of district, state, and federal policies, and really looking at how to manage a systematic process across the entire district, and use data to make those informed decisions that impact student outcomes in multiple areas. 3 levels of government control. Of course, there's federal, state, and local. First, I want to talk about the federal laws, or federal level roles and responsibilities. Looking at FERPA and Title I funding. Of course, there's EDEA under special education. And then looking at just all the areas that the federal government controls is really measuring student outcomes, collecting data, and evaluating the performance of all those practices. The next is the state level. State level roles and responsibilities. And this is moving into each state has different practices and policies, but of course, providing and allocating funds for public schools, looking at the state requirement or the state requirements for licensure for all public education. That includes private and charter schools. And then appointing state and local school board members is also an area of the state level roles and responsibilities. Next is local roles and responsibilities, and that's really looking at our district superintendent, curriculum resources, the adoption of those processes, determination policies, and to guide hiring and other staff members. So looking at all the levels of departments in our district that the district superintendent oversees. And with the curriculum and resources, really looking at our district universal screeners and assessments to really have a lot of data to drive those student outcomes, and school safety, local policies on school safety. Our local school board, looking at the roles and responsibilities of that here in Dodge City in 443. A lot of our board members, of course, are community members. They're big in the community and the involvement. Parent involvement. They reach out and communicate with a lot of parents and talk about our process and our mission and vision as a district. Policies on facilitating planning and development. We just recently got done redoing our stadium here, so there's a lot of stakeholder involvement with that process. Staff development, so that's looking at a lot of our professional development in our district. How are we using professional development to help all the staff in the district gain knowledge on the practices they do every day, and with that, again, increasing the student achievement. How does this support current and future success of each student adult? Really looking at all 3 levels of government as those checks and balances. Really to help ensure the funding is allocated to all the areas to make sure that there's enough to produce what we need to. Equity over equality. Laws and regulations, policies to ensure discrimination is not occurring. at any level for students learning. Dr. Fred Dirksen is our superintendent at Dodge City Public Schools, USD 443. He has a lot of responsibilities when you look at our entire district. A big thing he strives for is every encounter is important. EEI. Academics, along with literacy, is a big district focus of Dr. Dirksen's. Our English, our ELL population, and our ESOL department, our director, is a big demographic piece to Dodge City. We also have a district or a deputy superintendent and a secondary superintendent, as well as an elementary superintendent that helps manage and oversees the building administration across the district. There's the business office and human resources, our IT directors. We have co-IT directors. Public information, we have a director of safety and security. Our nutrition department, we have an executive director of special education and transportation. There's a lot of areas within the roles and responsibilities of our superintendent, and it helps having a lot of different people in his corner to help support him in the areas across our local government. Personal experiences, reflecting on this piece, really looking at the federal part is I need a lot more application myself personally in this area. So it's an area that I want to make sure I strive for going forward. Looking at the state, being part of KISA and the state dyslexia training in Kansas, being a trainer of the trainers here for our district. Local, I work around a lot of curriculum instruction, ESOL, and special education. Really looking at our the POL 6 operations and management. Looking at the order of priority as I would look at going forward if I was in these situations, would be communicating a plan. What was the plan district wide? Looking at our operations and understanding how things work in and out in different departments across our district. And then ultimately managing those operations going forward in each stakeholder and each department to align with our mission and vision. How relevant is this to me is this work, like I said, I already really mentioned, is needing some more application in the federal piece, federal government, and really understanding that process a lot more. But really looking at all the aspects of education, how it's connected between the federal, state, and local. There's guidelines in there, but how each department or each level of government helps, that checks and balances and funding for public education. This also has helped me understand the importance of having the right people in the position in the specialized departments like human resources, nutrition, transportation, your assistant superintendents, to really support and help guide the mission and vision of the superintendent. Reflecting, really, when going through this process, I knew these, like Title I, IDEA, all the state agencies and governments and local pieces. I knew there were a lot of layers to it, but again, reflecting on how connected some of these pieces can be is important to think about, is important how it impacts us as educators all the way down into the classroom. Looking at policies, processes, and procedures for teachers and staff. Again, like I said, it's really good to educate myself on this so I can better educate other teacher leaders going forward. This work will help me in my current position understand everyone's department. I work with pre-K-12 as a district intervention coordinator, and there's a lot of things that this has helped me provide understanding around to make better informed decisions about student outcomes. And of course, here's my last slide. The references that I used to really to read through and understand and gain more knowledge on the three governing agencies. Thank you for taking the time to look at this, and we'll see you soon. Thanks. Bye.